Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, doggone it. My name is John Boy. I am your host, John Francis Fahey. Joining me as ever is John P. Riley.
John P. Riley.
Yeah. Simple, to the point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, man. That's Aaron Joseph Pita.
Yeah, that's me. I'm here.
That's P.
To my 1 o'clock, your left
Yeah, my
is
10.
Famous couch humper PP Pants.
That's my handsome Matt Brousseau. Hello.
Hello.
PP Pants.
PP Pants.
Did you see he's burning those monkey nuts?
I'm sorry?
Huh? Is that a band?
PP Pants?
What did he do?
JD Vance?
What did he do?
He's burning monkey balls, testicles,
Why?
in the name of research, product testing.
Oh, that's smart.
That's what he did at one point?
No. His company is involved with it. It's ongoing.
Oh.
The balls are on fire currently.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I was just watching Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Really? The original?
Well, how do you think it
We
started?
did the original,
Yeah.
and then did
Beneath?
Rise. and
From
then-
under?
No,
From
not,
under the
not
planet.
doing any of the subsequent originals. The first one is enough.
Yeah. And then after that, the budget goes down, so the makeup gets worse.
Yeah, the makeup's the makeup is the only reason I watched the first one.
Yeah.
Because listen, if you're an astronaut and you can't look at the stars and realize you're on Earth, you're not a good astronaut.
Right.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that the apes read and write English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Kind of
okay,
a dead giveaway.
You can forget the
Suspend
apes.
it.
You can suspend the disbelief that they speak and write English.
Yeah.
But-
Well, to be fair, every extraterrestrial we met through Star Trek and the Twilight Zone
Star
seems
Trek,
to-
they have universal translators.
Oh, right. Maybe Charlton did.
No, I mean he left Earth in 1972, so they didn't have that.
Okay.
Even you can suspend that disbelief.
Okay.
Let's say you have universal. You can look at the stars,
Yeah.
and if you see the Milky Way or the Big Dipper or even Cassiopeia, any of them, the Pleiades, whatever
Yeah.
you want,
Mm-hmm.
you know you're on Earth. And
Yeah.
you're an astronaut. You should know that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of part of the
And
gig.
he's not very good at that.
Yeah.
So that movie is.
I think he had a few drinks.
Yeah.
And stinks.
He looked bad. He was 42 when he shot that movie. He looked like fucking shit.
You telling me all that good time got to him?
Dude, all that leaded gasoline,
Yes.
lead paint, asbestos in the walls,
Lead cigarettes.
asbestos, cigarettes.
Well, he made it all the way to fucking Bowling for Columbine or whatever.
Yeah,
sure,
you
yeah.
know, just like cockroaches. you know.
Yeah.
He likes to talk like this.
That's right. So we watched that one.
Okay.
That's good.
And then the Tim Burton one, which is a superior movie. To the,
I never saw it.
It's good. It plays.
Having him in it is genius.
Yes,
And
the
he's
makeup,
talking about the
and the
gun.
makeup is incredible.
Yeah.
The makeup is incredible. It was Rick Baker, who did American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
He did the makeup for that movie, and it's great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nods to the original "Get Your Filthy Paws Off Me, You Damn Dirty Human."
Yeah. Is it Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg? Yeah,
Wow.
it's Wahlberg, and they do a good job. Like,
So these fucking apes everywhere.
say hi to your mother for me. Come on, guys, we gotta fight these apes. It's a good movie, solid movie.
Okay.
Plays with time.
Well, it would have to, right?
Right, but it does it. The reveal is not that he's on Earth.
Yeah.
And it also explains how the apes became the way they were. It doesn't explain how they got horses.
No.
But
Yeah.
One day the horses evolved to create their own society. They create the patriarchy.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then started the new ones, and those are just
Excellent.
excellent.
Well, I would like to continue this discussion because I do have a lot of questions actually about Planet of the
Okay,
Apes.
we table it for the Patreon.
Yes,
Yeah.
and please join our Patreon. It's $5 a month, an extra episode per week. And we go a little off script and stuff. We get a little frisky. But for now, Matt, you have a profile for
I
us.
do, boys. This is one that was recommended, I believe, by Maddie. I forgot to double check, but from the Caress Crosby episode, and their name came up in Lord Tredegar's silky, fabulous mansion last week. But we start in Venice.
Italy?
You got it.
Italy, not Florida.
Italy.
There in the streets of Venice, in the flickering torchlight, strode a dark figure, wide-eyed and yet pale, bedecked with a boa, a real live one, pounds of pearls, flanked by a pair of cheetahs wandering along the winding paths of the city. More living than dead, but more mystic than real. Or maybe it's just a mannequin, a piece of surrealism. Or maybe over time the image is warped, transformed with each telling. And when it appears again decades later, maybe it's merely a ghostly visage. More memory than reality, more dead than living. The grand masquerades behind them, the cheetahs reduced to molted print. Does the ghost remain to haunt, to inspire, to bother? This is about Marchesa Casati.
Marchesa Casati.
The Divine Marchesa was her nickname at one point.
Oh.
Augustus John, the artist, jokingly said of her, she should have been shot, stuffed, and displayed in a glass case.
And that's a compliment.
Yes.
God.
Because sometimes...
I say that to women.
Sometimes rumor is the medium.
Yes.
But sometimes rumor is the result of widespread use of a different medium. Yourself.
Like a medium.
Indeed.
Like mind reading.
Yeah, like a medium between here and the afterworld.
Yeah, I don't know what medium you're talking about. Yourself? What do you mean?
You'll find out, John.
Like being a medium.
You'll find out.
Like a medium shirt.
Yeah. Which you are not.
No, I actually am these days.
Oh, great. Good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned the Patreon, because this one will have a large amount of pictures, and they will all be available on the Patreon.
Oh, that's lovely.
Not the Instagram.
No.
Sorry.
No. Okay. So, this comes from the book Infinite Variety by Scott Ryerson and Michael Orlando Iaccarino, and some various blog posts. One very good one by Annalisa P. Signiti, because it has a lot of good pictures on it. I guess we'll just start. January 23rd, 1881, Milan. At the time, the city was only a couple decades into joining the Kingdom of Italy and retained its multinational culture from centuries of dominance from the French, Spanish, and Austrian empires. It's a pretty cool place to be.
Fashion.
Yeah. Not yet fascism, but fashion.
Getting there.
Yep.
Fashion.
Her father was a prosperous cotton merchant, eventually founding the guild that controlled the entire cotton trade in the country and was given the title of Conte by the king. A daughter was born in 1880, followed by our subject, named Luisa Adela Rosa Maria. Due to their wealth, they were raised by governesses, her and her sister, her older sister. At an early age, she developed an interest in art and taught herself to draw, spending hours copying magazine images, staying naturally shy with a face full of large green eyes, and she's obsessed with the theatrical legend Sarah Bernhardt, who was kind of like the biggest female star of the day, and also like a bit of a witchy woman of sorts.
Okay.
Not Sandra Bernhardt.
Right.
No.
It was cool.
Yeah,
Also
she's
very
yeah,
cool.
also cool. Now, when
This
Louisa
is
was...
what year you said?
This started in 1881, and she was born.
Okay.
In 1884, when she was 3, her mother died, and her father died 2 years later. He was 49, she was 37. And the family's considerable fortune in stocks, bonds, funds, apartments, and the cotton business holdings all were left to the children. They were sent to live with their aunt and uncle, and both of them were now the richest women in Italy.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
And thankfully, their aunt and uncle seemed like decent people and didn't steal all their money.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. Now, when she was 17, in 1898, it was time to debut in Italian society. In one of the events, she enchanted Camillo Casati, the son of a Maltese knight and one of Milan's oldest and most distinguished families. He was 21 and a Marchese.
A Marchese.
Now, they soon planned their marriage, and as was custom, the soon-to-be Marchese was captured on canvas. Her husband also gained access to her wealth, which was much, much more than he had access to. He was only allowed 30 to 300,000 lira a year, depending on how successful the family had been, and he didn't have a job. So he just lived off his family's money. And,
I'm chilling.
yeah.
Tight.
He did a lot of fox hunting. That was his big thing. That's
It's not a big industry.
No. It's a...
It's a pleasure
Yeah.
Yeah.
pastime.
Yeah. Not getting outfoxed.
This guy Fox.
Now, their honeymoon was in Paris during the 1900 World's Fair.
Hey.
Camillo introduced her to young aristocrats and industrialists of the day. And it was often remarked that Louisa resembled Christine Trivulzio, a gossip legend of the era whose deathly white face framed her ebony hair and a tall figure of extreme emaciation, the strange charms that entice a multitude of lovers, including Chopin, Balzac, Delacroix, and French poet Alfred de Musset.
Balzac.
It was once discovered that Trivulzio kept a partially embalmed male corpse in her boudoir.
Partially embalmed.
Yeah.
What part?
No one really says.
The Balzac.
The Balzac.
Yes. Yes. And
The rest is just a skeleton.
Just withering away in the sands of time.
Oh,
Given a perfectly preserved hog and Balzac.
I'll get to it. I'll get to the rest of it.
Go ahead.
Now, Louisa herself was, of course, channeled with Christina, and when she gave birth to a daughter in 1901, she named her daughter Christina. Christina would not be in her life much. Both of them, when you're this rich back then,
You pay people.
just like not, you don't do that now. No way.
Come on.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for this, dude.
No.
But after long, Louisa became Louisa, I can't remember.
Louisa.
Became obsessed with the occult, buying up books of magic and telepathy and spells, but also she liked to join her. She got bored sitting around, and so she just started joining her husband on hunting expeditions, riding at full speed with the men, keeping up with them in the rain, and also keeping her style of dark dresses and dark hats. She would wear veils sometimes.
Gosh, she looks like a fucking horseman of the apocalypse.
Yeah, that would be a real. She would like that compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that one's for you, Louisa.
We miss you.
She's with us here right now.
Now, it was during one of these hunts that she met Gabriel D'Annunzio, the infamous Italian poet who always found a wife or a mistress for his muse and pocketbook, and he was always on the search for what he called the Danusian woman. And despite being described as, quote, totally bald with identified turkey cock stockiness that made him look like a hard-boiled egg inside a Fabergé egg cup.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
I don't think
He
he...
looked like a hard-boiled egg inside of a Fabergé egg cup.
Yeah, which means well-dressed.
Yes.
Yeah. A gross guy
Yeah.
who had style.
He
Yeah.
wasn't that bad looking.
Well, plus you got to be a poet, too, to get laid.
Yeah. That's the only way this guy's getting laid.
Oh, I mean, he was a famous, very famous poet, and a very...
And he was famous for fucking, too.
Oh, yes, very much so. He's not a terrible...
Oh, no. He's a handsome fellow.
He looks like V.I. Lenin.
Little bit, yeah.
Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov?
Yeah.
Let it be.
Now, let's see here. So it was during one of these hunts that she met him, and he took to her immediately, especially being one of the few women on these hunts, and he being a man that likes to fuck. Now, if you're his muse, what would happen is he would write about you in some of his stories, and he always gave you a name. He always gave you a fake name like Nike, Barbarella, Basilisa. He named Louisa Kore, Kore, and unlike any of his other lovers, she said, no.
Use my
It's
name.
going to be a C instead of a K.
Oh, interesting.
And so he goes, oh. And he only makes him like her more.
Yeah. Jeez, the way you spell my name.
He loved her audacity, and so when he wrote about it, he changed his name to Ariel, the angel.
Oh.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The mischievous spirit from Shakespeare, The Tempest.
Oh.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Of course. Also, she could help him financially, too, which was
Also that.
Yeah, which is nice when you're a poet, an author.
Yeah.
When you're a broke hard-boiled egg,
Yeah.
you use a few lira.
Yeah, you got to pay for the cup.
Now, here's a picture of Louisa when she is 21.
Oh, this is a
It's her with her daughter.
this is a canvas.
Oh.
No, that's a photo.
No. No dog looks like that.
Maybe it is canvas.
This looks like a painting.
Yeah, it's probably a painting. I didn't write down who did it then.
But it's photorealistic.
Yeah,
it is very realistic.
Maybe it's weathered and the
Perhaps it's a daguerreotype.
Perhaps.
maybe the pixelization is just off here.
Perhaps.
But it's very stark. She's very very commanding looking.
Yes.
Handsome.
I would say she's pretty. And that hair is fucking wild. It's like her fucking head is like a fucking slice of pizza.
Yeah, she's kind of
hair
got the
shoots-
eraser thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real cool.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
There's a baby.
Yeah,
in a Fabergé egg cup.
It is in a Fabergé
Yeah, it is,
egg
yeah.
cup. It's in some kind of floating
Charles Xavier chair.
Yeah, the baby's probably psychic.
Yeah.
And paralyzed.
So at home, Camilo, the husband, was often absent, hosting hunts and going to other family homes for business.
Ariel. Oh no, her husband.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So Louisa passed the kid to a governess and started just decorating houses and planning for costume balls the Italian aristocrats held, like the Ballo Giaponce, inspired by Puccini's Madame Butterfly, with a decor of temples and cherry blossoms and different decorations on each level of the building. Dante's Inferno in the basement.
That's cool.
Purgatory on stage. The upper levels were paradise and only reserved for the most elite society. Over the course of 4 nights during this, she wore 4 different outfits to 4 different balls.
Hell yeah.
It was a pretty happening time. And it's no coincidence that her assignations with D'Annunzio coincided with the first real blossoming of her style. And rumors that began that D'Annunzio, the, quote, Prince of Decadence, had found his first sorceress.
What?
And she, unlike his other lovers, she did not let him control her, which only made him love her more. And he wrote of her, she possessed a gift, an omnipotent knowledge of the masculine heart. She knew how to be or appear incredible. She was, in fact, the only woman who ever astonished me. Wow. She was his unicorn. And so she started draping herself in black and white and woven Venetian lace with long trains, balloon sleeves, dyed her hair an orange-red vermilion, and started painting her skin with a light white powder.
Ooh.
She dyed her eyes with drops of belladonna every morning, so they started getting wider and wider.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And she started being more outgoing, though she's never careful to say too much. Sir Alfred Acto wrote of her, wisely she seldom uttered ordinary statements from the lips of so chimerical a creature were inconceivable. They would have struck a discord.
Shout out to everybody on the Discord. Don't forget to join.
Yeah, get involved, patrons.
Now, this is the time of the Belle Epoque.
Oh.
Where everybody's, there's a certain freedom of expression and love. It's before World War I.
Yeah.
You know, the world is still bright and sunny and fun.
Not jaded and dead.
Yeah.
Crippled by mustard gas and guns.
Yes. Now, she started becoming friends with, let's see here. Okay, so then she bought a house in Rome to kind of, get a place that was her own away from Camilo. So she started just spending a lot of money and throwing her energy into making that look good. This is what the 3-4 residence looked like. Let's see here. Visitors venturing beyond the front iron gates would find none of the red brocaded velvet or heavily gilded furniture traditional in the homes of their conservative Catholic neighbors. Through the oversized portal on the Via Piemonte, one would come directly upon an ornate column-flank fountain in the center of an atrium with a small, well-manicured garden, growing there rare and exotic plants and trees. But the entrance, the successive inner courtyard, could only be reached by safely bypassing Angelina, a howling mastiff that obeyed no one except its mistress. Louise was often required to appear there to tell the dog to knock it off. Once inside the villa, callers would be admitted to an oval antechamber, the floor of which was set with tiles of black and white marble that formed an intricate basket-weave design. From there, one would pass into a gallery with walls of white marble decorated with terracotta medallions and bas-reliefs of sculpted alabaster. She often entertained visitors in a small drawing room nearby with its ceiling frescoed with peacocks and parrots. In the outer hall, a curvilinear staircase of marble swept impressively upward, bound on one side by a burnished iron and gold-plated railing. The next level were further chambers enriched with marble and wooden inlay. And the white interior was kind of rare back then, but she was trying to make a statement with every little thing about the place. Upstairs was there one salon with an alabaster floor capable of being lit from underneath.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah.
Dance on that.
The Princess Maria Ruspoli called it Le Bijou Casati, the Casati jewel. And then she started, started collecting animals for it.
Cool.
So she had Persian cats, Siamese cats, Syrian cats, pair of greyhounds chosen to harmonize with the color scheme of the interior, black and white. There was also a pair of statues of golden gazelles, placed only when she was in residence. And
Damn. Damn.
We'll stop there for now. So,
How about a zebra? Black and white.
I believe there would eventually be a zebra.
Okay, good.
You never know.
Penguin? Hi.
Jersey cow.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So, through these parties and with all of his money and going to these, meeting all these artists, and she started becoming friends with the popular artists of the day. Alberto Martini, macabre pen and ink artist, and Filippo Tommaso Marinetti, leading artists of the new futurist movement. And through D'Annunzio, she met Giovanni Boldini, who first got a good look at her when she arrived for lunch one day and her giant ring of pearls broke, and he found himself under the table staring her in the eye, immediately transfixed with her giant pupils. He would paint the first great image of her. It cost 20,000 francs.
20,000 francs.
20,000 francs, which is actually pretty cheap even by today's standards. I forget what it is. But this is, the picture itself was a huge hit for Boldini. It has been called surely the greatest portrait of the Belle Epoque. And let's see here. This is it right here.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty fucking goth, man.
and modern,
Yeah.
or as you would say, modern.
As I would say, yes.
It is pretty cool.
It's nice. It looks real cool. She looks nuts.
Yeah.
She looks real witchy.
Yes. Yeah, that's an outfit she just showed up with and said, okay. And Boldini would sing while he painted, and he was deaf and had a very bad voice. And
Oh, my God. Deaf guy singing?
Morrissey?
The review from Le Figaro from the exhibition, the critic said, "Today Boldini's talent has reached its climax. I am almost afraid to write that his portrait of Madame la Marquise Casati is the most beautiful piece of pure painting in the whole salon." He says, "The harmony of the black and violet is has extraordinary power. He's never painted such beautiful black eyes as these. Goya never captured a more attractive way the enigma of a lovely face. Marquise's face is unusual, presents an almost witch's sabbat mane in its big eye appearance."
And because Goya did do the Witch's Sabbath, didn't he?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that was Goya. Recreated in the great motion picture The Witch, as that director has wanted to do,
Yes.
is reenact famous paintings.
Now, with this showcase, Louisa decided to La Marquise, or Marchesa. Oh boy.
Louisa.
Yeah. Marchesa decided she wanted to conquer the costume party scene, and being the wealthiest woman in Italy at the time, she purchased the most unique palace in Italy, the one in Venice called Palazzo Venier de Leoni. It was originally conceived, this palazzo, originally conceived in a grand 5-story fashion, right on the water, but the owners, they ran out of money, became known as the Palazzo Non Finito.
Oh, I think we know what that means.
So, Louisa had she had her renovators get to work, and what they did was they ordered. So it was only one story, but it had a big atrium and big gardens, and it led right onto the water. And they ordered chandeliers from the workshops of renowned glass artisans, cast a golden luster throughout the halls of white marble. Illumination came from alabaster vases crowned by ivory roses and chugs of amber and rock crystals. All were lit from within. The staircase, of verdigris metal, connected to the main floor to the lower level. Curtains of gold lace adorned the many windows. Like Casati's Roman villa, Palazzo's interior scheme was white and black, with one exception, one salon that was decorated entirely in antique gold leaf.
Oh, lovely.
She also transported a black and white marble floor in its entirety from the villa in Rome to Venice each season, like a normal person. Yeah. There were flocks of white peacocks and albino blackbirds.
What?
Ivy, cypress trees.
Albino blackbirds, so they were white.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
And then you could dye them colors. I mean, you shouldn't, but she would. For like the party has this
Yeah.
sort of color scheme.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you dye all the birds.
Dye the bird?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dye 'em
yeah.
black.
Yeah.
It's a bird playing a bird disguised as another bird.
Now, in order to get...
Goya did do, which is Sabbath.
Oh, okay. In order to get there, you needed a gondolier. So she had to hire a guy or a couple guys to always be able to be around to bring people back and forth. She dressed them up in costumes and...
Yeah, Charon, the boatman of the River Styx.
yeah, pretty much.
Had to put coins on your eyes to get on the boat.
The boat itself was decorated with silk scarves and tiger and leopard pelts. And she once enraged the commune of Venice by having a gondola painted white in direct opposition to a law curtailing such expressions of extravagance in Venice. You know, you can't.
Yeah, it can't
Venice.
be extravagant in Venice.
Yeah. She brought the black and white greyhounds, of course. And she also bought a pair of cheetahs for the grounds.
Oh, good.
Yes.
A couple of cheetahs.
Maybe
Look,
Chester cheated.
Yeah, just patrolling the grounds.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yeah, she would bring them when she went out. She would walk through the palazzo with them on chains, and they would go on ride the gondola with her.
Was she a UFC fighter?
Kinda.
Now, so with her residence complete in Venice, she was free to walk the city in her style. Her usual outfit was a cape of antique red brocade with a thick gold necklace, a black fur cap, and her black and white greyhounds wearing tortoise collars, followed by Gabri, her black servant, in a turban and waistcoat, carrying a parasol of peacock feathers above her head.
Wow.
She was actually an albino, but she dyed her black.
You know, say whatever you want about the cheetahs, but you're not getting robbed.
No.
You're the richest woman in Italy, walking around with a couple of cheetahs.
Yeah.
And this big guy behind you.
Yeah. In a turban.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what he's up to?
Yeah, what's he got under there?
Yeah, exactly. The Venetians dubbed her La Casati.
What does it mean?
That's just her name.
Okay.
But it's like, there goes the Casati again. Oh, that's the Casati.
Fucking cheetahs.
Hey, come back here and clean up this cheetah shit.
In 1910, D'Annunzio becomes the first person to put her into a work of fiction, though it's not completely a work of fiction. It's one of his greatest works, Forse che, si forse che no. Maybe yes, maybe no. I won't read too much of it, but we'll just give you a
say
taste
maybe.
here.
Yeah.
Let's see. She loved to enhance the freshness of 25 years with blacks and reds. She always darkened the eyelids around her bright irises and sometimes bloodied her mouth with cinnabar. But her alchemy was much more complex, producing many marvels. By what fire did she transmute the substance of her life into the beauties of such moving power? The ordinary acts of daily existence, slowly removing her glove, allowing the doe skin to slip over the light down of her arm, sitting on the bed and taking off the long silk stocking, delicate as a flower that fades for an instant, taking the pins from her hat by raising her arms in an arc and letting the sleeve slip down to the curly gold of the armpit. For all that she was so fragile, so supple, so vivacious, she was akin to the great creatures of Michelangelo. Her gowns lived with her body as ashes live with the embers. She demonstrated how true it is that all enchantment is a madness induced with art.
Ah.
And also, he liked to have sex with her.
bet.
Yeah.
I want to,
Sure.
and I can't.
No, not with that attitude. She during this time, she met the famous dancer Vaslav Nijinsky. It said that when they met, she wore an incalculable abundance of pearls, though Nijinsky's wife later wrote, there are most who swear that she wore nothing at all, other than a snake coiled around her the evening we met.
Wow.
So she started getting boas, like snakes, and she would wear them around her shoulders or on her arms.
How is she not getting fucked up by any of these animals?
They said that she had a way with the cats where they never attacked her.
Yeah, cheetahs are nice. Cheetahs are nice cats.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're nice cats.
Huh.
They're some of the more nicer of the wild big cats.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. I like that.
Yeah.
But the snake is a fucking snake,
A
man.
snake is a
Choke you to
snake,
death.
man. Wriggling this way and that.
She started, she starts having all of her clothes and her domestic wear and her fancy dress designed by professionals. Leon Bakst the designer for the Russian ballet, drew portraits of her and designed her clothes. And she started walking the streets nude under a fur cloak, wearing nothing more than wearing more perfume than clothes, blurring the lines between masquerade and a day out. Once showing up to tea wrapped in tiger skin with the tiger's head atop of her own.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
It's like Hercules.
I mean, she's living artfully, shall we say.
Yes. She added some classic statues to the palazzo and gilded them. Primates were bought, tricolored parrots, ocelots, and tigers. Hungarian Prince Alphonse once recalled, in 1913, she brought me on a trip in her gondola. She was fantastically dressed with a parrot on her arm, while on the bow, a slave was minding 2 monkeys. When the gondola passed beneath bridges, spectators applauded.
Why did you...
Those are his words.
I know.
Slave-minded 2 monkeys.
So she had slaves?
No, she had... Her servants were all large black men who were, like, ripped and sometimes didn't wear shirts. And
Oh, my God.
yeah. Sometimes at parties, they'd be fully nude.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Damn. Jesus Christ, this is insane. Minded them.
Yeah.
How did you...
You Molignani, minded the monkey.
Oh, my God.
Minded the monkey.
Jesus Christ.
Per favore. Minded the monkey.
She started traveling with her boa in a satin-lined box that she bought from a jeweler. It was also with a glass case so everybody could see it whenever she traveled. With her place all set up, in a period of 6 weeks, she held 3 mask balls and 10 water processions.
A water procession. Now, what's that?
I think that's what the Olympics had as their opening ceremony.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, I believe so.
A water procession.
Yeah, you know, everybody gets in the gondola, they all splash
the
around a
fucking
bit.
parade.
Oh,
Yeah.
they start splashing each other with the oars.
And this is so she had 3 mask balls in a period of 6 weeks, and you know these are things that people plan months for.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Man, she likes to fucking party, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you know, she's a female playboy.
Yeah, it would seem so.
A socialite.
So this is from one of them. The door of the room is society writer Gabriel Louis Pringue. The door of the room where we sat chatting suddenly opened. A dead woman entered. Her superb body was modeling a dress of white satin that was wrapped around her like a shroud and dragged behind her. A bouquet of orchids hid her breast. Her hair was red and her complexion livid like alabaster. Her face was devoured by 2 enormous eyes whose black pupils almost overwhelmed her mouth, painted a red so vivid it seemed to be like a strip of coagulated blood. In her arms she carried a baby leopard. Probably a cheetah. I was unable to resist the attraction provoked by this strange woman. She pointed a small, diamond-studded monocle at the other guests and invited them to a masquerade ball.
I climaxed.
The party was given several days following in her palace in the Grand Canal. At midnight, at the party, she had the gondolas driven by the gondoliers, carrying her livery, come to get the 200 guests to take them to the Piazzetta that already had the mayor of Venice had authorized her to occupy. There's already an orchestra waiting there. Along
Nice.
the arcade, some gigantic black men dressed only in cloth of scarlet silk were placed there every 10 meters, tied to one another by a golden chain which prevented the crowd from gaining access.
Human fence. Human red velvet rope.
Mm-hmm. With a bouquet
Gold.
With a bouquet of giant white and black flamingo feathers twisted up her lunar white satin, in a costume of with a sash of black velvet, she grasped with one hand a bunch of black irises and held her favorite leopard on a leash with the other. And Marchesa Casati stepped off of her gondola with the acclamations of the crowd. The party was fabulous.
Not a photograph taken.
Nah, as you know, that took
Yeah.
time.
No, I know. I mean, it's a function of
The thing
Of the time.
explodes and all that.
Yes.
The cheetahs do not like that.
No. And the monkey,
Who gives
you
a-
can't even mind it.
No.
Yes, and so it was also around this time, and speaking of photos, that she meets Baron Adolf de Meyer, who would go on to become a famous photographer. And let me briefly another party. She had 200 black servants in white wigs, red velvet dress coats, and ropes of pearls. Held candelabros to light the way to the tables that were scattered in the square. Arriving by gondola, aristocrats from Britain, France, and Italy appeared in Baroque fancy dress, powdered wigs, embroidered waistcoats, and they had. She made an entrance from the water, followed by a gondola-borne orchestra lit by countless Chinese lanterns. Her appearance was heralded by flag bearers, trumpeters, and a trio of falcon handlers. She wore an immense hoop-skirted gown of gold satin with black lace mantle, a massive train held by a pair of young footmen adored with plumes. Her cheetahs, led by ropes of turquoise beads, followed at her heels. When she materialized before the gathered guests and curious crowd thronging the area, everyone burst into thunderous applause, which is a pretty good way to enter. Now, Adolf de Meyer, him and his wife liked to party. They were both homosexual.
Hell yeah.
He and his wife.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And they really enjoyed using cocaine.
Hell yeah.
They also loved inviting her to parties. At one party...
both gay, we both love coke.
Great marriage.
Great marriage. Yeah.
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 You
You don't have what I want, but you also have what I want.
Exactly. Look, I'm not going to fuck you. I'm just here to do coke.
Let's get that other married couple over here.
Yeah.
Make this a real party.
Oh God.
At one of the parties they went to, there was a life-size life-size wax male figure with an urn in place of his heart.
Okay.
Marchesa would take that to remember that one for later. So Meyer was an excellent photographer. He took these two pictures of her.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's an Italian broad.
And
Yeah.
so that's...
It's a straight eye towel.
Yeah.
Look at her, just digging her fingers into her face.
Oh God, she's doing the whole.
You know what she looks like? She's saying, "You can't win." Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
That's what's her name?
I don't know.
from Rocky?
Adrian.
From Rocky?
Oh, okay.
You can't win. Look at her. There she is. She's still saying you can't win.
Less good looking here.
Nah, she looks more like Joan Jett there or something, dude.
Yeah,
she
so this
looks
is the other
good.
one. The second one she sent to D'Annunzio. He wrote back, "Flesh is merely spirit betrothed to death." He wrote, and Aaron's rolling his eyes.
Why?
He's in love.
Stupid.
It is. He wrote it on the back of the picture too, and it was kept next to his bed until he died 26 years later.
Mm.
Now, as well in 1912, she meets Alberto Martini, Italian guy, if you couldn't guess.
That's good.
Alberto Martini.
And she would be his muse and also his patron for the next 2 decades, with dozen of major portraits painted of her. Though when he did ask for her pictures to be reproduced so he could make more money off them, she wrote back, "What is fortune compared to the dignity of art? Nothing." Just something a rich person would say.
Yeah. By the way, I'll be keeping it.
Yeah. So she paid him for the painting. She kept the painting, didn't sell it, and then he was like, "Can I reproduce it? Because everybody wants to see the painting."
All right.
And she was like, "No, that's
No, what
really
is money?
Yeah,
you
who
don't need
cares?
money."
My cheetahs don't need money.
But
They
it
just
also-
need 45 pounds of raw meat every day.
It also just enhances her brand too.
Yes. And this is one of the Martini paintings of her transforming into a butterfly.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like the other ones better.
Yeah. There'll be a lot to see. Here's one of those that man Basque who made her. That's one of the balls there.
Oh, whoa. Come on, let's look at the balls.
Here's one of the masquerade pictures. It's from
Okay.
1913.
Now we're seeing.
So she's in the white
I
there.
see a
and-
cheetah.
Yep, there's
Yeah.
a little cheetah next to her.
Look at that rascally little cat.
Wow. That guy's a pirate.
She looks awesome, dude. She looks fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like this is a good time.
I see somebody dressed as like Harriet Tubman in blackface.
Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised to see someone in blackface.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It wasn't frowned upon. It looks like we got a lot of mustaches.
A lot of
That's a good sign.
mustaches.
Mhm.
Probably real.
probably real. That guy's got like knee-high socks on, whatever he's doing. He's doing like some fucking like George Washington shit. You know?
Yep.
When our president's dressed like schoolgirls.
Pretty cool.
And they had wooden teeth they could take out to suck your dick.
Oh my god!
I think.
So, after a while, she grows tired of being in this just one location. She decides she needs a new audience to shock.
Yeah.
She heads off to St. Moritz, and it's claimed that she's the reason the popularity of the place took off.
That's Switzerland.
Yes.
Yeah. Could be.
Yes. Her daughter was now just shuttled off to one Catholic boarding school or another. Though the Marchesa was close with her older sister. She visiting her often, though after her sister was visibly disfigured by meningitis, she no longer invited her sister to the soirees.
Oh, that's mean. But her sister's also fabulously wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she doesn't throw parties like that.
And you can't.
She's all
It's meningitis.
she's all crippled up.
Yeah, maybe you put on the blackface and then
Oh my god.
you work at the, you mind
Yeah.
the monkeys.
Wouldn't she enjoy her as like a
freak?
A freak. Yeah.
Maybe that's a good point. So she makes her way to Paris to make the French say "Mon Dieu." At one point, she dressed just like at a party. She dresses like Lady Macbeth, completely in black, holding a dagger with a wax replica of a bloodstained hand at her throat.
Oh, out damn spot.
Mm-hmm. At another, she wore a crown of white peacock tail feathers with fresh chicken blood flowing down her pale right arm. Several observers fainted. At a ballet, she wore a dress of egret plumes that molted in clouds of white down, leaving her almost naked by the end of the show.
That's cool.
She started wearing wigs of stuffed snakes or fixing a gilded ram's horns to her temple.
Okay, so she's going mythological.
Yeah,
She's going to like a Medusa or a Pan.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes she would walk around the streets with a black velvet dress with a tiger skin top hat, and an eye patch. And sometimes she'd be carrying a live marmosets on her shoulders or a miniature crocodile on a leash.
Marmoset. Crocodiles on leashes.
You know, Paris.
Marmoset.
Yeah.
The Olympics.
Where are you getting a marmoset?
She can get it.
I mean,
I know a guy.
well, she does. She could call up any zoo and go like, how much to rent the marmoset?
Yeah.
And they go,
Double it.
They would go, it's 1913. We don't care about these things.
Yeah.
Have it.
Yeah. Like, do we? I think we have one.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a marmoset?
Hey, Luigi, where's that marmoset?
Brings her an ocelot.
Yeah, who knows if she knows the difference, too?
Mario, I can't find it in the marmoset.
Oh boy.
She started going to a lot of seances and the ballet. She befriends Jean Cocteau. And though...
Of the twins.
Yes.
Yes.
And she does appear on stage at least once. Not to dance, though, merely just so they can use her silhouette in a magical way. Though she did dance once at a ball in Rome, surrounded by nearly naked men painted gold who did not move.
That's fucking tight.
Yeah, it is tight. I like that a lot.
And one time she did dance at a Roman charity at the beginning of World War I, supposedly wearing a single black velvet rose.
That's cool, man. No pictures of that, though.
No, sorry.
This sucks.
So at this point, she adds 2 wax mannequins to her stable of cool stuff. One of them is the infamous Mary Vetsera, who died in a murder-suicide pact with the Austrian Crown Prince Rudolph in 1889.
Good God.
It was an infamous crime because he was cheating on his wife, and it seemed that Mary was maybe got pregnant and was either going to be shuttled off somewhere, but the Crown Prince was in love with her, and he shot her in the head and then shot himself.
Jesus fuck.
And they weren't discovered for a couple days, but
Stinks.
it was an infamous story at the time.
But his cock was preserved and the balls.
Yes. And the wax mannequin of Mary Vetsera that the Marchese had a red wound on its forehead.
Oh.
And so sometimes she liked to go like, hey, would you like to see Mary Vetsera? And then open up her boudoir. And the person would scream, and she'd be like,
Nah.
Or, yeah. Her other mannequin was of the Marchesa herself.
Oh.
She would, it might have been so it could be easier to get fittings because you go like, oh, measure the mannequin.
Oh.
But also she could dress it up for parties.
Yeah.
And one time,
Make out with
Practice
it.
self-love.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's perfectly real.
Such a good love.
Uh-oh, snake.
Even D'Annunzio doesn't know the difference.
Ass to ass with yourself. It's gonna be cool when you can do that
Yeah.
one day.
At one point at a dinner party, a guest arrived to find himself seated next to the Marchesa or her mannequin. He wasn't sure because for the entire dinner, neither of them moved.
Oh, yeah. That's what's up.
It's
The
pretty
mannequin farted. This is now I've seen everything.
Now I've smelled everything.
Oh God.
Around this time, D'Annunzio writes a story where his male character becomes obsessed with her mannequin and kills the real woman, whereupon the mannequin comes to life.
Ah.
They fuck.
What is it? Fucking the movie Mannequin?
Yes.
Pygmalion?
At this point, the German artist Alistair, who drew for Harry Crosby's book The Red Skeletons, from that episode, also found her as a muse, and his art was pretty, I guess, I don't know, scandalous, a little scandalous for the time.
This looks like Tim Burton drew it. And she dresses like Tim Burton's wet dream.
Yeah, 100%.
Those are a few of his pictures. One of a woman wearing a black and white dress, standing. Another one of Jesus bleeding on the cross. And a third one of a man eating a woman out while she's dressed kind of like a clown.
Oh my God, that's
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
yeah. And the first one, she's looking pretty good.
Yeah, the first one's looking like it's like I said, like a Tim Burton drawing or like a sketch from Jodorowsky's Dune.
I think we might be getting upper areola represented.
Yes, you are.
Oh, somebody ordered half pepperoni. Somebody ordered half pepperoni. And then the middle one, yeah, we got Christ on the cross. Looks like we've got Mary Magdalene there. A couple of women reaching up, to help him.
Yeah.
And then the one on the right, there is that's definitely a man in a tuxedo with a tail,
Yes.
eating box.
Yeah. We're going to town.
Mangia de box.
I wish we still had tails on tuxedos.
You can still do it.
The name of that third one is I Poisoned Your Moth.
Oh.
It might be mouth and they misspelled it, but I do like moth.
Yeah.
Poisoned it with his dirty tongue.
You give
Yeah.
that a hawk tour.
Oh my God.
Oh, boy. Now,
Slobbering.
the description for Alistair's drawings, one person said, his drawings could illustrate a fashion magazine in hell with the Marquis de Sade as editor-in-chief and La Casati as its only model.
Yeah, I don't see that in the pictures that we're looking at, but I do love that description.
I do too.
Yes, there are many more.
Okay, good.
He drew a lot of pictures of her.
Well, I sure would like to see some of those.
I do. Yes.
We shall find some.
Deposit them in the old spank room.
Yeah, I was gonna say cock in hand. I'd like to see them.
Now, in the morning of August 4th, 1914, let me make sure I haven't missed anything else here. The Marchesa ran her dining bell at the Ritz in Paris, only to find there was no waitstaff anymore.
Oh my God, what happened? The cheetahs ate on them?
The hallways were empty, the elevators were unstaffed, and soldiers were filling the hotel.
What the fuck is going on here?
It was
Is this some sort of David Fincher's The Game scenario? I know I'm rich, but
What do you get for the man who has everything?
surprise.
it was time for World War I, and the Belle Epoque had expired without her permission.
Oh, dude, they forgot to.
Yeah.
Fuck.
One acquaintance described going into her floor and just hearing screaming. Someone screaming nonstop because there was no one there
To serve.
to help. I mean, yeah.
Holy shit.
Meanwhile, her kid's fine in some convent.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
This child is psychic. I mean, paralyzed. But
Fortifying her mind.
yeah.
So what she does is she reinvents herself again to fit the post Belle Epoque times. When it becomes a muse for some fauvists.
Fauvists. Now, what's that?
Let's see here. Let me pull this one up. As one of the earliest avant-garde art movements of the 20th century, fauvism would be the touchstone for the boldness of the expressionists and a catalyst for the development of abstract art.
Could you spell fauvist?
Fauvist.
Okay.
It had evolved several years earlier in opposition to the highly prettified output of the salon painters and the soft ethereality of the impressionists. The fauvists took the concepts of such post-impressionists as Van Gogh, Gauguin, and Cézanne to even further extremes of color and form. Vivid greens, blues, crimsons, and yellows were slashed across the canvas to create images defined by vivacious spontaneity.
Now that's hot.
Yes. She was then called the spirit protector of all the cubists and futurists and avant-gardists of all colors and races.
And she was racially pretty cool.
Yeah, ish.
I'll have a blackbird, but it's got to be white.
And she let's see here. She becomes a muse of, where is it, man? Of a man named Kees van Dongen. It was a Dutch painter. So this is one of his paintings of her.
That one sucks.
Well, I mean, we get to see her ass in it. That's kind of cool. And
Yeah, that's just.
it's
These are not good.
Well, other time they're new and exciting.
this
Yeah.
is the toast, baby.
The toast is burnt. Toast has gone bad. This is not great.
She got a little white dog down there.
Yeah, this is like refrigerator art. Tell me the earlier the art has got progressively worse.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Well,
He would paint 7 paintings for him. In 1915, this creation by Giacomo Balla was debuted, called the Marchesa Casati, with eyes of mica and a heart of wood. It is a sculpture, and the wooden heart, you could turn it and move her eyes. And it was a huge hit at the Second Futurist exhibition in Paris.
yeah, it's kind of like a sculpture of a Picasso painting.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It looks kind of like the new Garfield. But I think that's supposed to be sort of her legs, too, with a pussy implication on the nose. And maybe some...
Her legs go all the way up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You don't know? Well, the Garfield thing is dead on.
No, yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Everything else is.
Those could be some titties we're seeing up there in the right-hand corner.
The eyes could be
No.
the breasts.
Yeah, sure. I mean, she does have a mouth. It's
Well, that's what he's saying. Might be also the.
Yeah.
right. If you want to.
If you want to, yeah, that's the thing about
The
Matt,
heart
The thing
is
about art, Matt, is that I want to.
Yeah. Very good, John. I'm glad you did not back down from that.
It's all about interpretation, and I see that as a nose pussy configuration.
Mm-hmm. Which you love a pussy face.
I do.
As given, as represented by one of our early media episodes.
A pussy face?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I do like that a lot. Yeah. The media, that was real good.
Yeah.
That was brought up by our friend Jim Powers.
Jim Powers, along with the Come Omelet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a regular on that thing.
I mean, he's an ideas man. And I have his phone number.
Yeah, we should call him.
We gotta
You
get
should
him.
call him.
As soon as we have this place guest ready, folks, we're gonna have some guests.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
Ask him if the teak's open.
We just called it teak.
We just called it on Patreon.
I know.
a couple of months
I know.
ago.
I heard. 1918, Jacob Epstein he bronzed a sculpture of her.
It's brilliant. It's dead on her face.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Almost Medusa-like.
Mm-hmm. Very
Yes.
Uma Thurman-like. That's a sculpture, man.
It's fucking good. It's a really
You know
good.
what it reminds me of?
Tell me.
You're gonna love it. Remember when the mom in Beetlejuice makes a sculpture of Beetlejuice's face?
No, actually.
It's exactly.
I haven't seen it in a minute.
What?
I haven't seen Beetlejuice in a minute.
Are you retired?
Yeah, I'm retired.
That is the Beetlejuice face sculpture.
All right.
Matt, I'll pull it up
Sure.
later.
That is it became a very famous bronze sculpture and a very big success for Epstein.
Financier?
In 1919, she goes to visit a Duchess acquaintance and meets Augustus John, who at this point was considered one of, if not the most important working artist working in Britain at the time. In his memoirs, he wrote of his first impression of her. Her bearing, personality, and peculiar elegance seemed to throw the rest of the company into the shade. The newcomer wore a tall black hat of black velvet, the crown surrounded by an antique gold torque, the gift of D'Annunzio. Her enormous eyes, set off by mascara, gleamed beneath a framework of canary-colored curls. She moved around the ballroom with supreme ease, while looking about her with an expression of slightly malicious amusement.
Slightly malicious.
Witchy.
Yeah, she would also put big black mascara around her face, with the like an Egyptian Cleopatra sort look.
Nice. I like that.
Very Beetlejuicy.
And his biographer wrote, taken in small drafts, her presence, with all its malice and extravagance, intoxicated him. And before long, they became lovers, and he started painting her portrait. The first one he painted is a little too Mona Lisa-like, but still quite good.
Still gets her.
No, it's good.
It still gets her. It's very good. It's very, very good. Her eyes are just so fucking...
Capture that.
Yeah.
But the second picture became something else.
Ooh, that's kind of hot, but she's still sweet looking.
She's
but
definitely...
the eyes are still definitely like intense and nuts.
Oh, yeah, because everything else is very ethereal around her.
Yeah.
It's very soft, but then everything like progressively gets more detailed and vibrant as you like move into her face, and then the eyes are like...
The eyes are like fucking like...
They follow you around the room.
Yeah, that's like one that, you know...
Dude, honestly, it's kind of freaking me out.
Yeah, no, your eyes have to go straight there, but it's in such sharp contrast to the rest of the painting, like you're saying. And
this is a great... You said that this painting is of note. It's remarkable.
Yes.
Yeah, you can tell. It's a good one.
Well, yeah, it is if you say so too, man.
Well, yeah, it's art.
If you remark on it, then it's remarkable.
The description, one reviewer said, for once, romanticism and irony are perfectly blended.
I agree. It's beautiful.
What's the irony?
The irony is that it's I think a darker person portrayed.
Very light.
She has an ironic smile to her. There's a mischievousness to her.
It's also kind of a thing like it has notes of something she wouldn't usually be pictured doing,
right?
Or
and
being in favor of.
Yes, she's actually painted here without a lot of makeup on, which is rare for her. There are alpine cliffs and perhaps Mount Vesuvius in the background.
Cool.
She's staring directly at the viewer with mischievous smile. And in fact, he repainted the mouth twice because he wanted to make sure he got it exactly right.
I would say it's almost reluctance.
No, I would disagree, but it's art, so you can see what it.
I would feel reluctance because it's not something she would usually do. That's what I get from it.
Interesting.
It was initially a full-length work, but he felt it was more powerful if he cut it off right there at the waist.
Yeah, he saved the bottom part. Spank-a-bank.
It is one of the most influential art dealers ever, especially at the time. Baron Duveen said, "I consider it an outstanding masterpiece of our time. It is no exaggeration to say this will live forever." Jack Kerouac's 1954 book, San Francisco Blues, there are multiple poems inspired by it.
Oh,
wow.
Today, it is still one of, if not the most popular painting in the Art Gallery of Ontario.
Wow.
Canada?
Yes. Yeah, no, California.
Not San Bernardino County, outside of Los Angeles. And, it's also worth noting, and obviously she did this in other times, the dyeing of the hair red has a very occult
Yes.
What would you say? Adjacency.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sure she had read about that in some of those books of
Oh
hers.
yeah, dude. Jack fucking.
Kerouac?
No. Jack Parsons would be nutting so hard about this lady.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Later in 1919, she makes her way to England with an illegal passport. She had changed the birth date to make herself younger.
Nice.
Instead of a photograph, she had a reproduction of a painting of herself.
That's a
rules.
baller move.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
pretty.
I'm sorry. I don't have a photograph, but I do have this fresco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth about $30,000. In England, she hires an orchestra of guitarists and flautists to follow her on her walks in the countryside, and they would hop out of bushes and sing and serenade her as she walked. Who needs headphones?
Yeah, you don't have them.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like, if you're on the quest for the Holy Grail,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
you got one of those guys.
Damn.
Those guys.
Oh.
She once arrived at a luncheon wearing white Turkish trousers, a tight jet bodice, shoulder cap, with an enormous black hat while carrying a walking stick as tall as herself. When offered a selection of liquors, she dismissed them as too tame and then unscrewed the top of her cane and poured a glass of absinthe.
Yeah.
Okay, that is pretty fucking tight.
Yeah. So it's a little mix of rich, lame, and also, hey, cool, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as tall as herself, too, so there's plenty in
Yeah,
there.
she's a tall drink of absinthe.
Yeah.
She once attended a boat race wearing a skin-tight maroon jumpsuit. No one could figure out how she got into the thing. The word spread across the channel, and the French press started calling her Queen of the Strange. Which, these days, that's deux entendres. She also went to India and declared herself a tigress and had her eyes dyed yellow-green, her hair dyed into tiger stripes, and started carrying a tiger cub around with her.
This woman eventually went blind, right?
The absinthe.
Dyeing your eyes and shit.
Yeah.
Then she made her way to Capri, the paradise of vices. There she wore a witch's hat with long veils, her makeup of a mountebank, a charlatan, bells in her ears, and she carried a crystal ball, a gifted to Nunzio.
Nice.
A black servant had 2 purple-dyed greyhounds and a leopard on leashes, and behind them followed 3 cages, one for a boa constrictor, one for parrots, and one for an owl. Later, they brought some gazelles transported from her villa on Rome.
I thought you said one of the cages for her parents. But she might have carried their bones around. Who knows?
Yes. There is a story of her trying to find, I believe it's an orangutan's skeleton. When she goes to London or something to visit a friend, she's like, before we go, can we go shopping? I would like to find an orangutan skeleton.
Yeah.
As you do.
Simple.
What do you mean you don't have the skeleton?
What kind of place can you call yourself an apothecary?
You call yourself a bodega. It's not even an orangutan.
I can get a
skeleton.
sandwich at 4 a.m., but I can't get...
Fine.
Simple
Fine.
orangutan skeleton.
Now, the man who owned the cliffside villa in Capri, he'd originally telegrammed the Marchesa that she could use it after they met in Paris. But upon hearing the rumors of her parties and her just general lifestyle, he wrote to her and said she couldn't. Well, when she showed up, she only arrived with a telegram that said she could.
I didn't get the other one.
And according to Italian law, she was right.
There you go.
And according to Italian law, because he didn't say that she had to leave at a specific point, she could stay as long as she wanted.
Squatter's right, man.
And so she took over. He was living in a different house, but he still had the villa.
Yep.
But she just took the villa, and he could stay in his house. He wasn't a big fan of it, but she charmed his friends. Sir Compton Mackenzie, who's a Scottish writer of fiction, biography, histories, memoir. He was a co-founder of the 1928 National Party of Scotland. He was a friend of the guy who owned the villa, and it was like, oh, well, she sounds like an asshole. That's a real pain in the ass. And then he goes to meet her, and this is his recollection.
I fucking love this woman.
And so she invited him to tea, and he said, there was a gilded gazelle standing on either side of the heavy front door, which was opened by the Negro servant, dressed now in a blue plush tailcoat and breeches. The servant was fluttering around in the entrance hall to say the Marchesa was waiting to receive me. I passed onto the salon and went in. Surprise scarcely expresses what I felt when I saw my hostess lying on a big black bear skin in front of a huge fireplace. The reader may feel equally that surprise is hardly strong enough to describe his feelings when I tell him that Marchesa was lying there with absolutely nothing on.
Yeah, dude.
Ah, Mackenzie, I'm glad to see you, she said, extending her arm for me to kiss her hand. I must put on a wrap because we shall have tea outside in the pergola. You go along now. I'm glad that Augustus John immortalized the Marchesa Casati, but I sometimes wish that he could have seen her as I saw her that afternoon of the early summer in Capri upon the black bearskin rug, so appropriately bearskin. He grew quite fond of her.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Oh,
And he'd invite her to parties. And
Yeah, well, you wearing clothes. It wasn't part of the deal.
you don't even know what I'm saying, do you? We should be our own nation. You don't even know what we're talking about.
While she was in Capri, she started doing opium in the Chinese room of Baron Fersen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
in the
a good time.
Chinese room.
Yeah.
Curious.
She had, of course, been doing cocaine for years by this point. That's a
And
record.
now you need to come down.
The Baron Fersen and her would, they would...
Could you imagine how good those drugs were, though?
I mean, the Baron had a lot of money. He would get the opium straight from China.
Oh,
No middleman.
No.
no.
Fresh off the boat, baby.
Right, just a boatman.
Cocaine was fucking nice, I bet.
Fill a fucking cane full of that.
It's a cocaine?
This is my cocaine.
This is my cocaine.
Yeah, it's a cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys get it?
Yeah. Or opium. Whatever you want. It's in the cane.
Her and the Baron, they lived on different sides of the island, but they were both into the occult and
Yes.
talking about their love lives.
Yeah, the temple touching.
They had a system when their lover pleased them very much that night, they would light a very bright torch so that the other person could see it on the other side of the island.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Hey, I just came.
Hey, check it out.
And so they're married?
No. They're both of them are just
Okay. So, that's nice. That's like good, like, cuck play.
I love it when you nut.
Yeah. dude. I'm going to start doing that.
It's just friends. Friends love friends. That
I
nut.
love when my friends nut.
I
can't
do.
believe you're not lighting off fireworks every time you nut, so I can see it in this guy.
I know. I light some incense.
Oh, it stinks.
The Baron himself, he would kill himself 3 years later by swallowing a cocktail of champagne with 5 grams of cocaine in it.
On accident?
No, no, on purpose.
Holy fucking shit.
What
Yeah,
way to
you know.
go out?
Huh? Yeah. He's an artist.
I mean,
Damn.
is that a good way to go out?
I can't imagine it's fun for the first 5-10 minutes, but once you get
I think it spirals pretty fucking bad.
yeah. Once you get past the bad stuff, though, I'm sure it's really
Yeah,
cool.
dude, swallowing, dude,
5 grams of cocaine. It's gonna be
drinking it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he had champagne too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
I think it could be water.
I mean, it's not like you're washing down 5 grams of, China white heroin, where that's a peaceful death.
yes.
But the last thing you want when you're dying is to be coming up,
Yeah.
peaking.
Yeah.
unless it's through the clouds.
Nah, I don't know, dude. I don't even know what that means.
It's a heaven thing.
Yeah. No, I meant like coming up,
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting more and more tense and anxious.
jaw clenching. Come up with a really good business idea right before you croak.
Yeah. And you're like, fuck, I wish I didn't drink all this shit.
Shit.
I just got a badass screenplay.
Fuck.
She has some crazy parties on Capri. She installs a fan so she could switch on and cause the palms to sway during her parties.
Oh.
She also, if it was really cloudy that night, she had an artificial moon light show that would create an artificial moon when moon would move across the sky.
Plus, she showed her ass to everybody.
Yes, probably.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Before she left Capri, after about 10 months, in the summer of 1920, she stopped by the villa of the owner's house, the guy who owned the place she was staying, and she offered him a gift of a large black velvet sack. Inside the man's children found 2 shrunken heads.
Oh. Oh my God.
The 2 heads were filled with cocaine.
The children found it.
Check it out. They're coke heads.
God. Got coke heads, got cocaine. Very nice, Aaron. I like it.
While she was out there in Capri, and before she left, and then she continued this after she went to London, she had a relationship with the American painter Romain Goddard Brooks. Her first, I guess, probably the first well-documented lesbian relationship she had.
Nice, dude.
Though eventually Brooks got very tired of her. She found her a little bit childish and annoying, and found that she would try to keep other suitors away from her. She wanted the artist all to herself. But she did paint. No, not that.
Oh, whoa!
She did paint this painting of her.
That's cool. That's
pretty cool.
It has a little different feeling than the Augustus John one, where he's clearly in love with her.
Right.
She's a little bit more evil in this, I guess I would say. She's very pale and white and naked with a black shroud hanging over her arms behind her.
Felt.
Her red hair.
Still
of course.
tight.
Yeah.
How old is she now?
This is 1920, so she's about 30, 21.
Oh.
About 30 years old.
She's looking good.
No, she's looking very nice here. I like the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the hair.
The relationship would not last very long. The Marchesa got this portrait. Now, Brooks herself claimed that she greatly disliked the portrait and would not give it to the Marchesa, nor sell it. Right before she died, she gave away all of her art possessions. After she died, the painting was found under her bed rolled up.
Wow.
And so it raises the question, is that because she hated it or because she kind of loved it?
It's all sticky.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Nice.
While she was on her way to London or after, when she was with Brooks, she stopped by Paris, where she showed up unannounced at the studio of Federico Beltran Masses. This is how he described it. One night she rang the door of my studio around 1 a.m. I was asleep. My man Jose woke up quite frightened to say, "Sir, I don't know if I'm still asleep or if I'm imagining her." I opened the door. Before me was something strange. A lady in black velvet with a large silver dog. Intrigued, I went down. Indeed, I saw there a bright-eyed woman. I saw only her eyes and a dog, Russian greyhound, a tight silver coat, a string of pearls around its neck. Man stood silently in the background. I took him for a lackey. The visitor announced, "Our Marchesa Casati. 2 days ago in London, I saw a painting of yours, Maha Maldita, and decided to be painted in the same pose as that woman. In my hand, my azure rock crystal globe given to me by Gabriel D'Annunzio. Here, take the globe. It's his little girl. It's cool to the hand, right? It hunts down the heat in the summer and fevers in any season. Take up your brushes. I have 1 night to give you." The lady posed, her arms in a web of black lace, her mouth blood red, her eyes enlarged with kohl. K-O-H-L. The mantilla offset by red hair, and behind it the billowing sails of a ship navigated the night, symbol of her nomadic and mysterious soul. Only when the sitting was over did the Marchesa think to present the man who accompanied her. It was the Prince of Naples.
Oh my God.
She left with a greyhound and the noble. I never saw her again.
Wow. That's fucking nuts. And do you have that?
Yes. All right, let's take a little break. I'll bring it. I'll bring it back up when we come back.
Be right back, folks. And we're back.
Okay, so I pulled up the old painting there.
Yeah. Got the crystal ball.
She's wearing a red, or I mean yellow green dress of sorts.
She looks good.
See-through.
A wrap.
A wrap, yes. You can see a stone. It's like she's in a cave almost, but there's a ship passing behind her.
Bless you, Angel.
It was all done in one night. I'm sure he fleshed it out a little bit later. Oil on canvas. He was the artist. He was never paid for the work.
No,
but it was his. I don't believe he sent it to her.
The currency is charisma.
Yes, and considering how many famous people have made paintings of her.
Yeah.
I also want to show you, I told you I'd find those other Van Dugans. And here is the one that became the most famous.
It's fine.
It's abstract.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little bit touch of surrealism too. She has a big eye and she's naked and behind
very long neck.
Yeah.
Yes, but the use of color and composition was new for 1921.
Yeah, for the time.
Yes.
Titties still jamming.
Yeah, nice pale pink nipples, supple.
Yes.
She continued meeting famous people around this time. In 1921, she became good friends with Isadora Duncan, who was maybe the most famous dancer in the world and helped to transform and modernize dance.
Breakdancing.
Yes.
Robot.
Yes.
Check it out. Breaking is in the Olympics.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. And by this point, she had a pair of Bengal tigers.
What?
You can't have those.
You can, and you can feed them. You can love them, and you can scratch them.
And she also at one point she had a black panther as a pet. But there was a the rumor
you cannot have one.
Eventually it was sent to a taxidermist who then turned it into a full-sized mechanical panther because they had to kill it. The rumor is they had to kill it because it killed 2 men, whether that's true or not. But it was shot, and she sent it to a taxidermist, and they turned it into a full-size mechanical panther.
Made of vibranium.
That would growl and move its head and tail.
Oh my lord!
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever.
And its eyes would glow green.
Oh,
Eyes of Wakanda.
yes.
Coming soon to Disney Plus.
And it could growl, of course. So she meets Isadora Duncan, and she brings her orangutan, and
she finds him he finds her an orangutan.
yes, and after that, after lunch, her, Denuzio, the orangutan, and Isadora Duncan go out to find a fortune teller. The fortune teller says that something to Isadora.
That's no orangutan. That's a man, baby.
Something says to Isadora Duncan something like, "You will be famous. You're something about you'll be famous in your time," or something like that.
Oh no shit! Have you fucking seen any of my parties?
Yeah.
Wow,
Hi.
you're a real
Whoa.
prognosticator. Real soothsayer. I'm famous now. Idiot.
And this is
My bike's at the Alamo too. In the basement. Suck my dick.
my dick. Now this time there's of course there's so many rumors of her. Here it is. The meeting with Isadora Duncan. Isadora says, "I went to the palace and walked into the antechamber. It was all done out in the Grecian style. I sat there awaiting the revival of the Marchesa. When suddenly I heard the most violent tirade, the most vulgar language you could possibly imagine directed at me. Looked around and saw a green parrot. Noticed he was not chained.
Notice he was not what?
He was not chained. I got up and left to the next salon. I was sitting there awaiting the Marchesa, and suddenly I heard a noise, brrr, and I saw a white bulldog. He wasn't chained. So I leapt to the next salon, which was carpeted with white bear rugs and had bear skins even on the walls. Sat down there and waited for the Marchesa. Suddenly I heard a hissing sound. I looked up and saw a cobra in a cage sitting at the end and hissing at me. So I left to the next salon, all lined with tiger skins. There was a gorilla showing its teeth."
And I remembered, I haven't left my apartment. I've been doing mescaline.
Yeah.
I rushed into the next room, the dining room, and there I found the secretary of the Marchesa. Finally, the Marchesa descended for dinner. She was dressed in transparent gold pajamas. I said, "You love animals, I see." She said, "Yes, I adore them, especially monkeys." She replied, looking at her secretary.
Dude,
Oh.
so many fucking animals.
Oh my God. Wait. She says, looking at her secretary?
Yes.
She's calling her secretary an animal?
Yeah.
What race was the secretary?
Well, leave that up to
The
art-
God.
Yeah.
the art patrons
I know.
among us.
I know what kind of person this lady is.
Yeah. I think we got it.
By now, rumors are swirling that the animals were actually former lovers turned into animals, and
Oh, God, thank God.
Or her
The animals were just former lovers. Jesus Christ, lady.
turned into animals.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you added that part.
Yeah.
Or maybe her many half-naked, muscular black servants were her lovers, but she relished any rumors that gave her power. For a time, she wore a gold bracelet above the elbow of her left arm and a gold bracelet around her right ankle. This was a popular look among elite lesbians at the time.
Oh.
Her granddaughter.
Interesting.
Yes, she was part of the chic,
The zeitgeist.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool. I wonder what it means.
I think it just means, hey, I'm a lesbian.
No, I know, but I wonder if there's some sort of symbolism.
Yeah. Pink
You know, like
triangle.
the guys
Big triangle.
wearing the earring on the right ear.
Yeah, right.
That whole thing. Handkerchief.
Hey, left pocket, right pocket.
What color?
Her granddaughter would say about her, I believe probably interviewed for the book, sex was not the object of her affairs and relationships. In them, I believe she sought admiration more than any other fulfillment. Though D'Annunzio was still the sexual release valve of sorts.
For her.
He started, and for him, but she was his favorite, but he still definitely slept with tons of other people. He started calling her the Divine Marquise in reference to Marquis de Sade.
I am the Marquise.
My sinners.
They're ready. My tigers. Tigers are ready.
Hang up the fucking phone!
My sinners. I am the Marquise.
I am the Marquise. In fact, you were the Marquise de Sade.
Hey.
You gotta check out Prince of Porn, episode 3.
Fuck. 7, almost 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
At one party, she was said to have not worn jewels around her neck, but the bruised teeth marks of D'Annunzio.
Oh,
Holy Lord.
that's cool.
That little fucking penguin man? That fucking hard-boiled egg? You know, Fabergé egg
Well,
cup?
I mean, there's a reason they call him Humpty Dumpty, you know what I'm saying? He humps D and then he dumps
Oh, God.
the egg whites. Dumps them all inside yous.
Yeah.
At another party, she arrived with visibly swollen lips, bit so hard by D'Annunzio that they had bled.
Jesus
She loved
Lord.
that. She loved that.
There were always bruises after they fucked in the gondolas, and there were fewer bruises when they fucked in the cemetery.
Holy Lord, they fucked in the cemetery.
And there were less bruises because of grass.
Yeah, well, it doesn't bruise as much as a gondola, you know.
Well, unless you do it up against a tombstone.
They also performed sexual pagan rituals together.
No shit. Yeah, Jack Parsons is fucking nutting in his grave.
Big time, baby.
Mm-hmm. But by 1921, the elite world she knew was disappearing. She was about 40 years old now, and she stopped reinventing herself. But she could still intrigue and captivate. Fashion designer and friend Elise Schiarapelli wrote, tall and gaunt with heavily made-up eyes, she represented a past age of splendor when a few beautiful and wealthy women adopted an almost brutally individualistic way of living and presenting themselves to the public. At a dinner in her honor, admirer Aga Khan III asked to be seated next to her. The only problem was that her gown was so large that 6 seats on either side of her had to be left vacant for the gown.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
When she sits around the house, she sits around the house.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good for her, man.
She bought another home, this time the now abandoned Palais Rose in Paris. It was again outfitted in all black, white, and gold. A new addition this time was a full-size stuffed mechanical panther from before. It was claimed... Okay, I already told you that part. In the Palais Rose was a room she converted into a private gallery of her portraits. According to one report, there was 130 images of her by 1923.
Fuck.
So naturally, she had a portrait painted to bless the room.
Of course. She fucking diddled her bean in there.
Oh, my God, Aaron.
Wouldn't you?
I would. I would diddle my own bean.
Mm-hmm. Which is an apt description.
Yeah, my little goblin cock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess you could call that a cock.
In 1921, the photographer Man Ray is in Paris. She visits in her unusual way, or usual way, and she asks to be photographed by him. And he takes a few pictures of her and then goes to his lab and creates this picture out of a double exposure.
You gotta let him cook.
Oh, yeah, dude. This is straight up borderline Susie.
And the Banshees.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very goth.
So in it, yes,
A glam goth.
yes, in it,
Very so proto goth.
he does a double exposure to give her 4 hours. He would say that it just happened naturally, but upon modern
Photographic forensics?
yes, they discovered that it's actually a double exposure.
Yeah. Oh, she just looked like that.
It is credited as one of the first and most potent surrealist photographs.
Yeah, I agree. Very potent.
Her payment, she did pay him. She paid him extravagantly for his photographs.
In what?
Money, and it helped his career immensely. He was able to activate this next level of. He was already coming up, but with that money he made from her, he was able to get into that elite era of
stratosphere.
Yes,
Yes.
You could say.
For a party, she again reaches out to Basque for an outfit to fashion an outfit for her. This one is called the Queen of the Night. It's a costume headdress of feathers, silver and gold tendrils adorned with celestial symbols. The entire outfit was covered in genuine diamonds. It took 3 months to make and cost 20,000 francs, about $30,000 today, if my math is right. Here is a picture of that costume.
Yeah, there you go. I've seen this before. I'm almost positive I've seen this before.
Yeah.
It's very occult.
Yes, yes.
It's very
Early Hollywood.
very early Hollywood, like Ishtar,
Yes.
or even you could see Aleister Crowley
And for you folks,
snorting lines of his own come off of this picture.
yeah, for you folks that are just listening, I know you're reacting to us reacting to photographs, and she does really look like Talia Shire.
Yeah, she looks like Talia Shire, and she is
Adrian of Rocky fame.
Yes, and she's got the very like early Hollywood silent film era
Yes.
very much.
look of like the smoky eyes, the pale skin, and just like, man, boy.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how that image was so popular while it made women look, shamanic and and witchy.
Well, women are shamanic.
Yes.
You empty a load in them, the fucking kid pops out. I mean, come on.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on, dude. You can't empty a load into anything and a kid will pop out.
Yes.
There's one thing on this entire planet that you can dump your wad in and another dude will come out of it.
I know.
And that's a woman.
It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Name something else that you can shoot your shit into and a human being will crawl out of.
One day, a lab.
Like a dog?
Jesus Christ, John.
No morality,
Jesus
John.
Christ.
Jesus.
No, not a Labrador. A science.
laboratory.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
A science lab.
Okay, well, anyways.
So here's a picture of Hedy Lamarr in the movie The Ziegfeld Girl,
Yes.
where basically a very similar.
Yeah, and Hedy
Sort of
Lamarr
a-
also a great candidate for profile.
Yes, we haven't done her yet. I think she's one of the big names
Yeah.
that we're putting off
Yeah.
until we have 1 million listeners,
Yes.
which is just a few short
Yeah.
decades away. But Hedy Lamarr, absolutely a truly notable character.
Very.
But yes, you've got this celestial Madonna type of imagery going on with the Marquise.
Yeah.
And that image also, like, you're also getting like vibes of Metropolis.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
A little bit of
yeah,
Metropolis in there.
So at another party, she decides to start using electricity,
Dude, like that.
and this is where's this from? It is from Cecil Beaton in his book The Glass of Fashion. This says the Marchesa Casati decided to appear as an electrically equipped Saint Sebastian. She was to wear armor pierced with hundreds of arrows, each studded with glittering stars that were to light up when the Marchesa appeared.
So San Sebastian,
Yeah.
that the image of the being pierced with arrows,
Yes.
is Yukio Mishima.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Also fascinated with.
and almost you.
I am fascinated with Yukio Mishima.
No, we remember we had.
Oh, I almost got super ripped for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get enough listeners.
Yeah.
It was $1,000 on Patreon.
I thought. Oh yeah. Then we did.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I had a kid. So.
She decided to wear armor pierced with hundreds of arrows, each studded with glittering stars that light up when the Marchesa appeared.
I got a fucking tattoo for the show. Okay.
No,
Guys?
no
No,
shame.
1,000 listener.
No.
It was $1,000 a month for the Patreon.
Oh, was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
Either way, I got a tattoo on my leg for the show.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of my hog on the internet. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, no shame.
we did it
Yeah.
in our own way. Anyways, lighting her up with, Tesla.
Tesla.
On the morning of the ball, she arrived, bringing a fleet of servants, an electrician, and stoves for boiling water to make cups of tea or coffee while the elaborate preparations for her appearance were in progress. But the moment of being plugged in, a disaster took place. The costume short-circuited. Instead of being lighted up with 1,000 stars, Marchesa suffered an electric shock, sent her
God.
into a backward somersault. She did not recover in time to appear at the party, leaving a note that stated simply, "Mille regrets."
1,000 regrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, that's a very classy, demure way
Yes.
of expressing pain and suffering.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you imagine how much coke she was doing?
Dude, it's probably the only thing that kept her alive.
Yeah, and at another point, she was electrocuted so fiercely, like
Again?
she crumpled into a ball.
Fuck! Stop!
Well,
Little ball zap.
it's the it's the future of gowns.
They're still figuring out electricity.
Yeah,
it's still magic.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
That is pretty fucking wild, man.
Somersaults
Dude,
backwards?
can you
Yeah.
she's hanging around with wild animals all over the place, and it's electricity that gets her, Electric eels.
That's true. Let's see here. August 3rd, 1922, D'Annunzio falls during a party, maybe at his villa. He was going to make a speech and stepped out a window onto some sort of overhang, and it fell off that and hit his head. And
God damn it.
he would never be the same, though. He did regain, he was able to, all of his motor functions seemed to work well, but he spent the rest of his life living secluded and smoking opium until his death in 1938.
Damn.
That's the way to go.
But in December 1923, she goes to visit him, and she stays with him for a month, and they rekindle. It was the first time they had seen each other in years. And this is from the book. Marchesa entered the
Phantasmagoria?
phantasmagorical setting for the first time on December 12th, 1923. Its owner directed her to a boudoir known as the Leda Room. Its name was made evident by the bedstead carving of a nude nymphette being ravished by a swan.
What kind of room?
Leda Room. I believe
Leda?
Leda. I believe that is the name of the woman that Zeus raped while he was a swan.
Yeah.
So that's the carving.
It's a long list of women, dude.
Yes, but that's the carving that is in the bed.
Got it.
D'Annunzio, classy.
Rape
Dude.
swan.
D'Annunzio's own sanctum was the room of the leper. The contents of the Scarlet Chamber imbued it with an atmosphere of religiosity, exalted profanity. Walls were adorned with a collection of women's satin evening gloves, trophies, D'Annunzio claimed, of all the ladies who lost their heads. A life-size wax effigy of a bleeding San Sebastian stood beside a narrow bed surrounded by framed photographs of the poet's past lovers.
Oh, dude, what? This is...
During her visit, one of Louise's portraits by de Meyer was wisely placed at the forefront of the other sepia-toned muses.
This casting couch office?
Yes, pretty much. She gave him a gift of a ring owned by Lord Byron, which of course was
Cool.
pretty sweet.
Fucking nice.
Cock ring.
And she would later give him a tortoise she bought off a zoo as a gift.
5?
Yes.
Oh.
She was there for a month, and he was very charming. He was very charmed by him. But at this point, her finances are struggling to keep up with her spending. Again, she never made money.
Yeah, she just had it.
She had money. She never made money.
Right.
Now,
But she also didn't monetize this thing that she's created for herself.
Well, she didn't sell any of the paintings of her. She kept them all.
Yeah.
And she could show them off at parties. She didn't have stocks. Or, whatever her family had in stocks and bonds, I don't know who was in control. If that
So there was passive income being made.
Yes.
And, somebody else was administering.
conceivably, or she sold it all without thinking.
My question is, the cotton business that she inherited was still being run in some fashion, or was it just? It doesn't
Presumably,
matter. She was rich.
Presumably, she paid no attention to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a tough life.
Well, she's got to plan all these fucking galas.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a business on its own.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job to be rich.
And she made one final journey to the Palazzo de Leone in Venice to sell it to a Hungarian baron. It would later fall into disrepair and eventually bought by Peggy Guggenheim.
Of the Guggenheim Museum.
Yes. And you can rent it out today if you have money that you don't need. In 1925, she commissions more work from Alberto Martini, and then she heads to America. Along the way there, let's see here. Let me see this one.
That's absolutely straight out of fucking Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yeah. It's her like in a whole gold-plated C-3PO kind of
From
thing.
the neck down.
There's a
She's got
serpent
a
at her
dagger
feet.
at her
There's a
waist.
fucking snake.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, wriggling this way and that.
Yes.
There's this crystal ball. It's got everything.
It has it all.
That might be the most picture of her
No, we went
ever.
most picture of her.
It's the most picture of her ever.
On the way there, she heads to America, and on the way there, her boa gets loose on the boat, causing a panic. It's never recovered.
Snakes on a boat.
Snakes on a boat.
That's it. I have had it.
With?
These motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking boat.
There, of course, were rumors that it ate a child, but there was never.
Did not.
Was there a silhouette of a child in its throat?
Yeah, no, it was never recovered. It was never found.
Oh, I thought you were saying the child never recovers. Obviously, got ate by a snake.
She
I was once ate by a snake. I made a full recovery.
the American papers loved her. It was a huge story. Here, the Sacramento, the Sacramento Union paper put out a 2-page spread about her.
Wow.
Oh yeah, she's got the cheetahs pulling a
Italy's
chariot
famous-
like Ben-Hur.
Italy's famous beauty who lives like a fairy princess. And it shows her illustration there with a chariot and one of the cheetahs.
Yes.
2 cheetahs.
There's a picture of her daughter, for some reason.
Nobody cares.
Her daughter would. Her daughter would maybe around this time, maybe a little later, would have a brief lesbian relationship with Frida Kahlo.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
She made her way to California, where she meets actors and catches a baseball game. It is set.
Caught a bit. How many pitches?
Taking her hand off.
All the jewelry, fucking making too many signs. They should call for a fastball.
She goes to visit the Grand Canyon, where she meets Sir Francis Rose, and he says of the meeting, he says, "I went to overlook the Grand Canyon. It was covered by a thick mist when I arrived. Only the Marchesa Casati stood waiting to be gazed upon. She was the spirit of the golden sunsets and turned the gorges into blood and flame. Veils hid her ruby eyes, and leopard-skin pants covered her legs. A vast gold sombrero crowned her head, and her feet, stained purple, were slipped into lemon-yellow Arab bababouches. The mist seemed to ooze out of the violet magenta dye in her wild locks, and she clutched beaded belts, souvenirs, and woven straw toy horsemen on toy mules to her chest as though they were the countless breasts of Aphrodite."
I'm pretty sure Aphrodite had 2 breasts.
Yeah. It takes a while to count them sometimes.
One.
You gotta be really sure.
Yeah.
I need to check
I
again.
need to take a close
Wait a
look.
minute. When she returns to France, she commissions more portraits for Martini. He paints one called The Grand Canyon of her in an Indian dress standing over the Grand Canyon.
That's a cool one. I like that one a lot. That one's very, very cool.
She seems to have some sort of razor weapon in her hand.
Oh, dude, she's got the Wolverine claws. John,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
even seeing this fucking shit.
Sorry, I was looking something up.
Yeah, porno.
Yeah, I was looking up porno.
Check, she's got the Wolverine snick.
She does.
More accurately, she has the blades that Vega has in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
These are not coming out of her forearms and fists. These are coming. This is an appliance she's wielding, much like Vega.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Vega from Street Fighter. One of the most underrated characters
she looks
in all
cool,
of
man.
And there's one of her albino birds in blackface there at the bottom.
Now, her parties in France are starting to upset the neighbors. Also, she would bathe in the nude outside. And
Yes.
during one party...
Bothered nobody.
No, probably not that. But during one party, she walked through the gardens fully nude, holding a candle and shouting, "I am the truth."
Oh. Just a lot of coke.
Yeah.
At another party, the revelers started fucking in the gardens. At another party, a group of people climbed atop the walls and started jeering the guests. At another party, it was a disaster when a thunderstorm came in, spooked all the horses, that the horses ran right to the stables, at one point trapping a couple of guests in one of the carts because they couldn't get out because it was stuck in the stable. And then the
Monsieur Hands.
also at this party, yes. Also at this party, some lady showed up with a dress imitating the outfit that the Marchesa was wearing, and that lady had to spend the entire party locked in a closet.
Oh my God, that's insane.
That's awesome.
Holy shit.
Don't do that.
Come on.
It's not your party.
Damn.
Decorum, please.
How would she know what dress she was going to wear?
I don't know. Or maybe it's just a dress, mocking her.
Yeah. I mean, at least her excess of wealth didn't lead her down
Any sort of torturous sex dungeon type of stuff.
yeah.
corridors of,
Pain.
yeah. Aye.
Now, rumors swirled more after this disastrous party. There were claims that she tried to clean up by going to church and have an exorcism by the archbishop. There's rumors that she killed the archbishop by insisting he leave his bed while he had a fever to come to her house and administer an exorcism, and then 2 days later he died. But at this point, death was not uncommon in her ever-shrinking circle. Bask died in 24. We're about 29 now. Nijinsky, a Russian ballet friend of hers, was in an insane asylum. Isadora Duncan died when her extra long scarf was caught in the axle of the car she was riding.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she
Can
was...
you imagine what happened?
Yeah, she was
Popped her head off.
She was pulled from the car. The driver said, "You should wear a cape," and she said, "No, I'll wear the scarf." And
Yikes.
and then
Yikes.
it got caught in the rear axle,
Right,
and it pulled her out of the car, and she hit the pavement, and she died.
Jesus fucking Christ. Pretty cool. Yeah. Excesses of wealth just getting you in deep trouble.
Insisting upon yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flying in the face of physics.
Yeah.
Boldini would die in 31, but in 29 she would have this painting, Bertrand Masses painted of her in the Garden of Eden.
Oh my dear Lord.
One of her snakes, of course, and there's an apple, and she's very Eve-like, and the snake is doing kind of the alien maneuver of getting into her mouth.
Yeah, this honestly looks like Angelina Jolie a little bit. This is
in the motion picture, appropriately, Original Sin, featuring her and Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, this is good stuff. She looks real hot here.
Mm-hmm. And she's in her 40s and still tight.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice.
Taut. Supple.
Yes.
Perky.
Yes.
Steady diet of cocaine.
Cocaine.
Yes.
Out of cocaine.
Champagne, absinthe. Not a lot of whiskey.
Cocaine. What was the other one?
Opium.
I don't know.
Cokeheads.
Oh yeah, cocaine.
Yes. Now, of course, at this point, her accountant was beside himself. The disastrous party with the horses and the thunder, that cost her over 500,000 francs, which is about $350,000 today.
Yeah.
And then she visited D'Annunzio, where she found the pet turtle present she had gifted him had died from eating too many tuberoses, a beautiful smelling flower. Kind of poetic in a way. D'Annunzio had the shell gilded and bronze castings of the animal's head and feet, and had them all fused together. Sort of a Here's a golden turtle sort of
Turn it
thing.
into some weird animatronic Hall of Presidents thing.
No. This would be the last time they saw each other.
Oh.
Returning back to her palais in Paris, the Marchesa learned that a groundskeeper had been found dead and his eyes pecked out by parrots.
Jesus
And they're
Christ.
cussing the whole time.
Fucking fat, you piece of shit.
Mind the monkeys and the black guy. You know those parrots were dropping that shit.
Squawk. Turn off the leaf blower.
Hang up the fucking phone! Scott! Gay guy.
She would throw no more parties after this. Her money was dwindling. She would still attend some. She began using her collections to pay her debts, but she was very bad with money. This is one description.
I think she was great with it.
Yeah.
I can't think of any better way to spend your money than how she spent it.
I mean, it was unwise for her. It was great for other people, which I think is the way you should spend it.
Now we're talking.
Taxi drivers, merchants, and grocers were handed diamond bracelets, emerald rings, and pearls for their services.
I take it back. That's stupid.
Such behavior caused Augustus John to comment, Casati was credulous as a savage and was ever at the mercy of the first impostor. Even her granddaughter, Maria, was astounded. If she saw something, anything she wanted, she had to have it. So, if she wanted something you had, she would take off one of her jewels and give it to you, even if what you had was worthless. Of course, you could not keep a fortune this way.
Wow.
Right?
Money goes.
It
Money
does.
goes.
By January 1931, her 50th birthday, she owed 300,000 francs in France and 20 billion lire in Italy.
20 billion lira?
Yes. It's
20,
about
with a B. Oh, this is post-war, right?
it's about $42 million today.
Holy fucking shit.
In 1932, she sent a telegram to the nuncio pleading for money. It was never answered.
Ah, he pulled the same thing that
Yes.
she pulled on other people. Oh, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I'm sorry.
By law, I mean.
Hey, maybe she needs some royalties from all the fucking writing you did about her.
No.
In December 1932, an auction of her possessions was organized in the Palais Rose, and then the Palais was mortgaged. Here is a brief listing of some of those things. The surviving record includes a variety of gilded Louis XVI furnishings, bookcases, consoles, chairs, footstools, 24 porcelain dinner plates embossed with the Casati family crest in gold, Louis XIV Sevres tea set for 12 with matching coffee service, 200 books bound in Moroccan leather, also bearing the family crest in gold, 4 vermeil candelabra, a set of Lalique crystal torches, a pair of Chinese chests of tortoiseshell and mother of pearl, brass unicorn, and marble phoenix. Even more personal items as her photograph albums and her bed linens, including 4 pairs of sheets embroidered with her coat of arms, satin bed cover with tigers, stags, and gazelles stitched on in gold, went to the highest bidder. None of the items sewed from their wardrobe was a dress of Persian brocade by Worth, 6 pairs of gold and silver handmade shoes by Helstern, a panther skin coat, 6 evening dresses with trains, 2 pairs of silver fox gloves, a pair of tiger skin gloves, a pair of slippers with diamond buckles, a silk wine-colored coat by Revet of Paris, with sterling buttons of the Casati crest, a pink ostrich feather cloak and fan, 12 sets of satin and lace underwear, 15 fancy dress costumes, including 1 constructed of brocade and diamonds. Also noted was the odd inclusion of 2 men's suits, 1 gray and 1 brown. Her entire collection of mementos, once belonging to the Comtesse de Castiglione, was for purchase as well. The majority of the gallery was auctioned off. The pavilion that housed the shrine to her self-glorification was stripped to the bare walls.
Oh my God.
Works of Baldini, Augustus John, oils by Beltrán de Masses, de Blas, the gouache by Brunelleschi, Montesquieu's watercolor, the bronze statue of her, multiple canvases, portraits by Giuliano Martini. All of that was all sold.
Damn.
So you can build up this whole thing to yourself, but either you sell them or someone else will at some point.
Right.
I suppose. Yeah, I mean, she had a lot of money, but she didn't have the fucking stupid Peter Thiel money of today, where you can.
You couldn't conceivably spend it all
Yes.
at any point. But there were, she was spending it in frivolous ways,
Yes.
right? She wasn't like buying entire media empires. or anything
Yes,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
but she also was creating this thing for herself. So you would imagine that the auction would yield some significant results.
Yeah, but when you're in debt, 42 bajillion lira.
Yeah.
And what year are we in?
We're now in 32.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're pre W.
Il Duce.
Yeah, and also it should be noted, D'Annunzio was a huge help to the fascist movement in Italy, kind of regarded as the poet, while Mussolini was, the military guy or whatever.
Oh, really?
D'Annunzio was, I mean, I don't know if he was fascist, but at least during World War I, he was famous for the Italian Corps for making very, meaningful speeches. And later, he was kind of used as sort of a figurehead of sorts. Whether I don't know if that was with his permission or not.
Interesting.
Hey,
And he's probably profile worthy, but we've already heard so much about him tonight. Who cares?
another guy.
The Palais was mortgaged. It fell in disrepair for a few years until it was bought, but the ghosts remained. Well, mainly her panther remained, which once scared a painter that was hired by the new owner.
Mechanical panther or a real panther?
No, a mechanical one. One painter inadvertently activated the panther while another painter was on a ladder. The painter on a ladder got spooked and fell to his death on the marble floor.
So one painter activated the panther and killed another painter?
Yeah. Right in front of the panther.
Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine telling that guy's wife? You go like, you have to tell that guy's wife that some mechanical panthers spooked him off a ladder and he fell 2 stories to his death? Jesus
They
Christ.
wind it up or nothing.
It's a sad thing to have to say. I put on this toy, and this
And it
guy
killed your husband.
Was
Your
he
children are going to starve. Because of the musings of some Lydia Dietz-esque twat.
Yes. Yes.
After the Palais Rosé was sold, Marchesa would never again have a permanent address. She attempted to find a rich husband once traveling to the
At
U.S.
50?
Yeah, but no, she was charming. She charmed.
Is this true? She's sexy. She's sexy.
Currency is charisma.
She once attempted to find a rich husband in the United States, traveling here to insisting. She called a friend and said,
I need a guy.
she said, I got this guy. I'm going to get him. And the friend said, well, he's married. And she said, he will divorce from me. And she shows up and she unpacks her stuff and realizes she forgot her boa. So
And you can't get a guy without a boa.
So she calls the zoo in New York, and after much discussion, they agree to rent her a boa for the day.
Thank you.
And so she wears it to lunch. The rich man shows up, sees her with it, and runs off.
Wow.
Boa freaks out.
These
Strangles her.
Kids these days. Well, the thing about, like, a lot of her, when she would wear the snakes and stuff around, it would usually be in she's not going outside a lot. So the snake would fall asleep because it was cold. But sometimes she would be in the sun for too long,
And the snake
would wake up.
Horned up.
And people around would see the snake start moving, and they go, oh, fuck.
Damn.
But I guess she was pretty calm with most of it. Who knows? Seemed like it. In 1935, she's invited to her last annual masquerade. It was the theme was the Ball of Famous Paintings. She went in as interpretation
Of herself.
of Winterhalter's painting of Elizabeth of Austria. I'll show you. There's the painting there.
Okay, that's the original.
Yes, and so her version of it, she went as one. It was much liked, and her Man Ray showed up and took a picture of her, and the picture was reprinted in a full page of the English magazine The Tatler.
Titla.
And here's a picture of her with.
Looks nothing like it.
Well, she reversed the costume. She went black, and where the costume was light, and light where the costume was dark.
Yeah.
I don't see the resemblance at all.
Well, she has stars in her hair, a little bit like the. But the picture was quite striking.
It's very cool. It is
Yeah.
a great. It's better than the whatever it's imitating. You got the two horses there on their haunches.
Yeah.
And she's in what you would imagine her to be in. A
Yes.
black, very...
She's, I mean, still very fucking lovely and charming.
Yes. In 1938, D'Annunzio died. He had a calendar that predicted important events, and he underlined the one for March 1st that read the death of a famous man. That night on March 1st, he had a cerebral hemorrhage.
Whoa.
He was 74 years old.
Damn.
That's the way to go.
The
Better
Marchesa...
than drinking 5 grams of cocaine with Dom Perignon.
Yeah.
Marchesa did not attend his funeral.
Oh.
Not long after that, the Marchesa, now she's nearly 40. She flees to
Nearly
Britain.
40?
She was born. This is 38, 39. She was born in 89.
So
Nearly 50.
Nearly 50.
Yes, sorry.
I'm 50.
She flees to Britain. It's one of the few places she doesn't owe money,
One of the few places where they like that kind of thing. Old broads.
and that's where she goes to the parties at Lord Tredegar's.
Lord Tredegar.
Yes, from the Danny Fouts.
Mm.
And that's where for the first
With
time.
the magic and stuff.
Yes, that's for the first time and the only time she meets Aleister Crowley.
Oh, God. Match made in hell.
And much to the amusement of Lord Tredegar, who liked to invite people who he thought would get angry at each other and then kind of nudge them together, they got into a fight.
Yeah.
And
No,
she-
you
Really?
you gotta
You gotta
do the
meet him.
coke before you come.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta snort the cum after you do the coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Agree to disagree. No.
Yeah. That's
Exact. Honestly,
much.
that's how it went.
transcription.
Yeah. The stenographer's notes.
She has oh, sorry. She has a
What? No money?
so a friend makes a bank account for her, so like friends can just drop in like £5-10 anytime, you know.
Sure. Oh, she got an OnlyFans.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was enough to skimp by. There are rumors people would of her rummaging through trash cans for pieces of lace and velvet.
Dude, that is trashy.
Augustus
Gardens.
John studio is not too far away, and she would go over there and reminisce. And he
Rummage.
he paints a portrait of her called one last picture of her in 1942 called a caricature of Marchesa Casati with a hangover.
With a hangover.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's a good one.
It is a good one. She's got borderline scissor hands. This is very Tim Burton.
There's
Yeah.
a cat. There's a pussy in her lap.
Yeah.
You see that, John? There's a black pussy in her lap.
I do see that.
And
Fierce.
one final drawing of her is done by Joseph Paget Fredericks, who they had known each other for a few decades. Is at some point in the 40s. This of her with the cheetahs.
It's nice.
And her clothes become more ratty, her hats become more crumpled, her apartment becomes a single room with a stuffed lion's head. She starts making collages. That's her final.
Oh, that is she might as well start baking bread. That's the last stage of depression.
Here's one she made of Henry V.
Okay.
That's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that's cool.
You know,
Yeah.
all the women, most of the women's heads have been cut off, and there's a couple
Appropriately.
of apples with fat asses,
Yeah.
or peaches,
Juicy,
Yeah.
juicy cherries or something.
Yeah.
Beavers.
It was her final artistic output, and it stopped when someone suggested she should do an exhibition of them. She seemed to. Someone said she seemed to be. She detest money. And so she was only left with the pieces of the occult strewn around her apartment, and she started attempting to contact the dead, making lists of friends, lovers, and those who had wronged her. She would receive messages from the spirit world telling her if the person who had wronged her had been killed or not. Sunday, June 1st, 1957, she died from a cerebral hemorrhage. She was 76.
Just like, what's his name?
Yeah.
It's all the coke they were doing.
She was buried in Kensington district of London in the Brompton Cemetery beneath a small sculpture urn draped with garlands. An inscription from Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra reads, "Age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety."
And that's the name of the book.
Very good, Aaron.
Infinite Variety.
Wow.
I feel like I heard the name of this book on NPR recently.
Really?
But I could be totally
You just heard
wrong.
the phrase infinite variety.
I might have heard that. Yeah. Now you, before we comment on this wonderful profile you just did, there was a photo that you pulled up and then kind of quickly removed from the screen here, which was very, very, to me, iconic, where she did have a boa and then she also had like this afro.
Yes, I forget. Let me see here.
That one is very striking to me. And is one of the more occult. That one where she's very frank and further
Yes.
from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
She's wearing maybe some sort of burlap sack, but also a giant boa constrictor snake.
Yeah.
And she's got a very 70s style teased out white girl afro, black, and just tons of eyeshadow.
Yes, when she asked for a bow, she would always, anytime she got a new one, she would say, can it be at least 20 feet long?
Fuck. God damn. Yeah, no, she's the most proto-goth person I think I've ever come into contact with. This is really amazing. It really shows so much of that style, and
also like a little like the glam part of
Yes,
goth.
right.
yes, yeah,
It's one of the rare things that you could imagine that both Tim Burton and Gene Simmons of Kiss would nut over.
yeah, 100%.
That in the Venn diagram of those two very different people.
Yeah,
Is gross.
Yeah.
It's Glampire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A Dragula.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, fascinating character.
Yeah, I'm
Truly eccentric.
yes, and it's like,
And this thing of being the muse, you kind of don't necessarily think it needs to be a wealthy person, but with her,
Right.
it's like she had a thing.
Yeah, and very often the muse type of people, whether they're men or women, your last profile, Matt, of the homosexual with alabaster skin was very, very much a muse
yes.
type of guy. Often those people, they don't need money
Yeah.
because they're around people who have it and they ingratiate themselves. But she was just independently wealthy on her own
Yeah.
and still ended up being a muse,
Yes.
which
And-
is
and-
amazing.
Yeah.
And went broke being a muse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I constantly go back and forth about like how much I like this person, and but I also have to remind myself that doesn't really matter. She decided to become a work of art herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes, to live artfully.
there's
be a living work of art.
there's various quotes of people who love it and people who hate it, where they go like, she had no imagination of herself, but yeah, she's still.
I would disagree completely.
Lady Gaga would love to be her.
I would
yes.
absolutely disagree that she had no imagination.
No, I mean the costumes she wore were part of that. She loved to make rumors. You wouldn't walk around town with a couple cheetahs and a big ripped black
marmoset.
servant behind you without expecting to create rumors.
Yes.
Yeah, no, if she
That's
was
all you're doing.
if she was in today's thing and it was able to be captured on Instagram or TikTok,
Yeah.
it would be a nonstop fucking
So instead of TikTok, she had famous painters,
right.
and
Yeah.
she used famous painters.
And it took a long time.
I think yeah, no, I think to say there's no imagination is
but of her, no imagination of herself. Is that what you were saying? That the critics said of her?
Yes, it
Like
was
an imagination of her own.
She was
or
purely a performer. There was nothing.
substantive.
Yes.
I think that's
but
doubtful.
I think it's incredibly doubtful.
I
think
disagree with that,
I
too.
think she had enormous.
Like it's easy for us, if fucking Lady Gaga shows up on the River Seine with fucking a couple of cheetahs and an ocelot and a lynx and a bobcat, like then you go like, oh, that's trite. It's played out. You're whack. You're a hack. But this is 150 years ago.
Yeah.
And this lady's like, give me those wild beasts from the dark continent that we barely found out about.
Yeah.
And put them on a gold rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And paint that bird that's black, that's white, paint it black again. And get me a couple of Moors.
Yeah.
And put turbans on their heads.
Yeah.
And make them hot.
Yeah.
Give me a couple of mandingos.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I know.
That's what she would say.
Yeah, no, I know. Hopefully she would
Plus,
say that.
I'm on coke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before it's real cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think she had some imagination.
I think she really crafted quite an image for herself and then just had other people paint it. So I think the imagination is not in doubt whatsoever.
Yeah, and she showed up for the paintings with her own style.
Yeah, with
they
her
didn't say
shit.
dress in this, do
No,
this.
Show up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
with your fucking cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah. You shall not pass. Man, that's a great profile, man.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Never ever heard of this person.
I know.
Incredible, perfect profile.
Yeah.
A true profile of eccentricity,
Yes.
Yes.
in
indeed.
my opinion.
Yes, I would say so. And Matt, you said you got this from Maddie, a patron?
Yes.
Well, look at that.
Maddie, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Maddie.
Maddie.
We love you.
God, keep them coming. That's a really great one. I really enjoyed this one.
We should have just
an iconic image.
we should
I
have
think.
a thread just in the Discord for suggestions.
They probably do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
They probably do.
Yeah, I mean,
But this is great. Great job, Maddie. Great job, Matt.
yes,
A real, like I said, just a very iconic, archetypal type of figure. It seemed, at least visually for me.
yeah,
She has an uncanny look about her that
Yeah,
you've
definitely.
seen everywhere and also nowhere.
yes. It's. I mean, it is such a distinct face. And it's just imbued with so much kind of mystery.
And vibes.
Yeah,
The vibes.
the vibes
severe.
are strong.
Yeah. The drip is severe.
The drip is severe. Yeah, I love it.
Britney Spears MTV Awards 2002. Eat my shit.
Eat his shit.
Yeah, I mean there would be multiple fashion shows based on her.
Yeah.
Like Lagerfeld, all of those people would eventually have. There was a resurgence about her in the late '90s, early 2000s with all of the fashion.
Really?
people. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Susie.
she is really fucking just the belle of the ball. I mean, it's stark. It's challenging.
It's provocative. It gets the people moving.
Yeah. It's really its own thing.
I like it a lot.
It's part of that 20th century thing of people branching out and doing something weird.
Yeah. The 20th century was, I'm glad to have been a part of it.
Yes. Yes.
The bloodiest century in history.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the most artistically
so far.
avant-garde.
It is the bloodiest.
By far.
It has to be.
By far.
I mean, look at Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
And so we don't really get
The great doctor.
She dies in 57. We don't really get any of her stuff about World War II at all. 'Cause she's just in London.
Coked up out of her mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And by then she's the years after the 30s move pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
There's much less information because she's not. There's no famous people are saying, oh,
She's not the belle of the. I mean,
Exactly,
There's
right.
bigger news
Yes.
news items going on.
Yes, and maybe much like World War One that killed the Belle Epoque.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The frivolity was
even
gone.
fucking Winston Churchill's running around naked. It's not new anymore.
No, no.
Sipping his hat.
I think his
fucking-
nipples are out.
Yeah.
Are those greyhounds? No, it's fat ass.
Great job.
Yeah. Love it. I think that's it.
That's it. We'll get to the Patreon next. So
I,
stay tuned, huh?
Yes. Tune into the Patreon, folks. We love you. I'm going to say goodnight. My name is John Fahey.
I am a cheetah on a leash.
Good night, everybody. We love you.